From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Que Pasa, Nashville.
Bienvenidos and welcome to Que Pasa Nashville. My name is Christina Allen and thank you for joining us. Today my guest is Ann Gillespie, who's owner and president of ProLingua Incorporated. I'm going to say, yes, ProLingua.
That's correct, ProLingua.
Thank you very much for joining me. You've been on the show several years ago and you've done several amazing things in this community, and I was wondering if you can give us a little profile on your company and the initiatives you do within our diverse community.
Well, that sounds good. So we've passed our 10th year in business here in Nashville. And a part of that is helping companies really connect with diverse communities. And we say create community with diverse communities. And the reason we say create community is because we work with clients so that there is no us and them between markets, that they really feel comfortable going out to different community events, and that the community feels very comfortable coming back to them as well.
So are you considered a consultant to go in and help a business do what?
Sure. So we provide training and consulting services, and we'll help kind of map out what a strategic plan would need to look like to really connect with a market. It could be community outreach.
Connect to what market? Like the diverse?
Latino, yes, or new immigrant, new American markets.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. So not just Hispanic, but we also, you could deal with the immigrant, the Indian, or so forth.
Yes.
And so in doing training, what kind of training would you do?
We do multicultural acumen training, and it's really just having the skills to be effective in an intercultural situation where there's more than one culture represented.
And give me an example of that.
Of the training or
Yes.
a situation?
A situation.
Okay, customer service. So a frontline, say at an airline, which is one of our clients, if you're attracting a more diverse audience within the domestic U.S. market or trying to go global, which is what my client's doing, you really need, even your frontline, every aspect, every team member to be engaged and sensitive or aware or looking for cultural differences so that they can really connect in a meaningful way and have a quality interaction.
And so for the client, it is expanding their reach for new clients. And for the employee, it's what? Opening up their mind?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of skill, right? So 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we all had to figure out how to do email and work with computers. And this is yet just another change that's on the horizon, that to be effective in a professional setting, you need a new set of skills. And multicultural acumen is really becoming more in demand.
And so with some of your clients, can you give us an example of someone who's taken you to the nth degree as a consultant, but to their measurables of their company? If you can kind of give an example of that, because I think people know that they should. Do they have to learn the language? Do they have, to what extent a company has to go forth? And then there's also the extent to what an employee has to know. And I think you can kind of relax some of the people out there because it's some basic elements.
Right. A lot of people come to us and say, oh, we all need to learn Spanish or another language. And a lot of times they say that because culture is invisible and we don't see that there are different cultural rules, and that you might need to be a little bit more formal in your etiquette, not slide papers across the counter, simple things like that. And so once you have a client that says, hey, we're not doing a great job at connecting, or we'd like to increase our confidence overall, we really go in and show them competence or acumen or intercultural skill is evident at a corporate level. You see it in their leadership statements, policies. You see it in the way they hire, in the way that they engage their employees. And it's really about employee engagement as much as it is customer acquisition.
Let's give an example of an insurance company.
Okay.
And I know that was one of your clients, and I kind of researched. So an insurance company hired you, and not only did they get cross-cultural training internally, but they also did a huge outreach in hiring diverse agents. So kind of give me an example of that, because that to me is a huge measurable, because these diverse agents get assets to the diverse community as clients.
Sure, and one result I can share with you is an agent who was able to add $100,000 to his book of business over the course of a year by really getting out from behind his desk and being a community executive and getting to know the people in his community, building trust with them, and really showing them the things that he could offer in a culturally appropriate way. And so behind that is knowing your social network, who's in your social network, And because our communities are changing so quickly, it's easy to miss the chambers or the NAP, the National Association of Asian American Professionals. You might not even know they exist. So it's really kind of taking the strategy that you have and looking through the lens of our multicultural communities and make sure you're inclusive of those organizations.
So with this Asian example, he brought over 100,000 to the books, which is immeasurable.
Yes.
Which in turn reflects to the big corporate company that, hey, this is working.
There's an opportunity, right? There's an opportunity here.
So as we evolve in your business, you did a huge initiative in founding Futura.
Oh, yes.
Can you give me a little, tell us about Futura? I know we've
Yes.
had some of them, and it's for college students, Latino college students. So
Yes, and this was actually in partnership with the insurance company, and they were saying, how do we really tap young professionals in the Nashville market, because they kind of blend in, right? There's no easy way to find them. So if we want to recruit specifically to this group, how would we do that? And as we looked at the landscape in Nashville, we saw that the program, the YMCA Latino Achievers, run by Carol Seals and Kathleen Fuchs, was doing so well. They had classes ready to go into local college campuses.
But they were going into high schools, correct? Was that their first initiative?
Because of the success of the high school program,
okay.
we had graduates ready to go into college. But they still had questions, and there's a lot of hidden rules to success on a college campus.
And first-generation college students.
Yes, what is a syllabus? And parents who are like, I wish I could help you, I just don't have, I don't know how to fill out a FAFSA, I don't know how to do a lot of the things, I don't know how to help you through orientation. And so you find that the parents also don't have a network, a professional network that they can share with their children.
And these are mostly Latino children here in Nashville, okay.
Yes, largely first and second generations.
Okay.
You know, probably coming between the ages of 8 and 13 for the most part, I would say, and that's probably about 60% of the students we work with.
8 to 13, but then they go into the college programs. And so how many Futura chapters do you have currently in Middle Tennessee?
Currently we have 9.
9 chapters.
7 of those are official chapters, and then there's one affiliate chapter at Austin Peay, and then one that's becoming a chapter in formation. That's Motlow Community College.
So, for instance, MTSU has a chapter.
MTSU has a chapter.
And and they are an organization that welcomes the Latino students to make sure they are welcomed, can have resources.
Right.
And maybe faculty that helps them as well?
Absolutely. So there's a sponsor on campus, and what you find is you'll have the high school program, the Achievers, get onto campus, and they're looking for a home base, and they find Futuro. And Futuro is a student-led organization, so there's leadership on campus, and they're out there for the first days of orientation, and then they're supported by faculty advisors.
So let's go into really one of your next, you've done a lot, your International Career and Job Expo, which is slated for February 26th.
Correct.
Next year at Trevecca. Tell me how this came about, the need for both the potential career people as well as the companies wanting to reach out to this international community.
This is another need that we found in the Nashville community, because there are so many globally relocated professionals here in Nashville. Maybe they came with a spouse, maybe they were a student and have stayed on, who have a tremendous amount of skill and might be held back by an accent or just not knowing how to break into companies through networking, professional networking, and aren't really sure what that process should look like. You know, in other countries, it's not uncommon to have your photo and your date of birth on your resume, and so there's little things that we can help them with. So this event is really about bringing about our international community at any level of profession. There's networking opportunities and career development, as well as those who are really looking for a job and career search.
So in this expo, which is Trevecca, who's been a great partner in doing a lot of initiatives, what kind of vendors do you see happening? I mean, tell me a type of company.
Sure.
Obviously an insurance company, let's say.
Sure. Well, there's going to be 3 types of companies that we're really encouraging to attend this event. The first is anyone who has a diversity recruiting strategy, because this will be a way to connect with a lot of the ethnic chambers and international organizations that are here in Middle Tennessee. Okay. The second would be those colleges and universities that we talked about that have a graduate program or offer some kind of career development service that they'd like to get out to the larger community. And then the last are those nonprofit organizations and ethnic chambers that are here in Nashville. And there's just a growing number of fabulous organizations. And so we just want to bring them under one roof for one night of networking.
And so do you find the response strong?
Yes, this is actually not the first time that we've done this. We ran this in 2009 and 2010 and have always had a great attendance and support from the exhibitors as well.
And so not only will there be an international, but it's open to everyone.
It's free to the public. It's
That's
really
key.
about
It's free to the public. That's very important to say, because
everyone's welcome.
So you're in need of students, or professionals, to come
Yes.
with a resume,
Come with
with
your
a
resume.
smile,
Dress professionally,
Dress
wear your bow tie.
professionally,
Yes.
and as well as vendors. And we're going to put your website, which is internationalcareerjobexpo.com.
Yes.
And if you're interested in being a vendor, universities, corporations, nonprofits, chambers, to put everyone in the room to celebrate the assets of diversity.
Absolutely.
And so with this event, do you find that you'll find students that have careers or degrees in other countries that might need to work on bringing them up to par for the U.S. status? I mean, how does that work? I just thought I'd ask that.
That's a really good question, and there's two aspects to that. One is we want them to know how to sell themselves in a good job search, but we also want the companies who are coming who are maybe less familiar with foreign-born professionals or foreign universities to feel more comfortable in the requirements that they have for their job search, so that they're not weeding people out unnecessarily by needing an accredited U.S. college as part of their job requirements.
Because we have a huge global community that
yes.
don't have the same status of a different degree, but with enough encouragement and enough work, they can even be with a couple of classes, maybe bring up to par and be
Yes.
able to do nursing or wherever that need is. Is that correct?
Yes, there's some recredentialing sometimes
credentialing,
required,
yeah, that's what I was looking
but
for.
sometimes just kind of starting maybe a level down within an organization gives them the confidence and the skills to really get their rrhythm.
Sounds great. And
Okay.
thank you so much for being on
Thanks,
the show.
Christina.
That's Ann Gillespie with ProLingua. Several things to remember. Look up Futura if you are a college student or have someone you would like to get and make sure they stay in college. But the International Career and Job Expo, which is slated for Wednesday, February 26th next year. You see it on the screen there at Tribeca. Please go on the website if you are a vendor or interested in attending. We'll be right back with Que Pasa Nashville. Gracias.